Hi everyone, welcome to your daily read for October 11th, 2018. This channel is called The Witching Hour. My name's Michelle and I'm a witch. Merry meet. I'm shuffling the cards using Sacred Circle Tarot, and I will also bring in Witch's Wisdom and my own soul-to-soul oracle cards that I made myself. So if you're new, welcome. Yesterday's reading was great. Go check it out because it's timeless. Doesn't have to pertain only to yesterday. None of my readings do. None of my readings are locked into a certain time frame. They're current, but they're also timeless. That's just the way they are because that's the intention that I set. That's how I roll. Okay. At the bottom of the deck, we have the moon. Oh, perfect for Halloween, huh? For Samhain. Going to the dark side. Going to the dark side. I just thought about bats yesterday, too. So look up the symbolic meaning for bats. I know it has to do with mystery, and obviously it has to do with vibratory sensory perception. So like being able to hear at that imperceptible level that you can kind of pick up on the vibration going around type of thing. Look it up. Look up the bat and see. The High Priestess. Oh boy. Oh boy. Really going into the dark. Really, the High Priestess can see in the dark. That's the feeling I'm getting from this card. She can see in the dark. She can go down, and the moon is her light. The moon is her light. So this is about going down deep within yourself, into the subconscious mind. Maybe some of you have been taking up those words of advice from Spirit on my other readings about astral travel or journey work, shamanic journey work, that type of thing. This is about knowing thyself. That's the impression I'm getting from the card. Knowing thyself. Going down into the deep, the depths, going into the depths of yourself. And the middle card is, ooh, another major arcana. 3 major arcana out of 4 cards now. So this is a turning point. We're going into the dark half of the wheel of the year. There's the light half and the dark half. And the Lord always brings the sun. And I think the High Priestess reflects the light of the sun from the glow of the moon. It's like she has her own light. And uses her own intuition, and she doesn't rely on broad daylight to show her the so-called facts. She wants to know the underlying meaning of things. But I'm feeling like don't force the issue. Like just let the information that you're seeking intuitively to come up to you on its own, because if it's coming from the subconscious mind, it will. It's trying to. It's trying to. So pay attention to your dreams at night. Maybe keep a bedside journal, a dream journal, or just a notepad, you know. It doesn't have to be anything, you know, fancy. Pad of paper, and just write stuff down that comes to your mind in the morning. Or what I'm feeling to say also, which is something I told someone yesterday to do, or, you know, suggested, write down a wish, a prayer, a question before you go to bed. You know, sit and get centered. Really get into the depth of your soul's center. What you really want to know. What you really want to ask. Don't worry that, you know, this is about asking God for an answer about something. Just write the question down and let the answer come. I'm not telling you it's gonna come in the morning or whatever, but I'm saying write it down. Be aware. Make the connection of what it is you want to know about whatever it is you want to know. Write it down. Or write down your intention. You know, I want such and such, and put it on something that you would consider to be an altar. Okay, it can just be your bedside table. It can be anything at all that you deem sacred enough just for this object, this piece of paper. Write it down, your question or your intention, your desire, before you go to bed, and set the intention that while you're sleeping, you, your soul, and the universe will kind of congregate and meet without your even being consciously aware of it. Unless you want to be, you know, ask for that too, and say, you know, show me the answer to this question, or show me a sign that this intention is now in the hands of the universe. And not to keep tabs on it, like worrying and fretting and watching, you know, like a watched pot never boils. So not in that respect, but more like just keep checking in with it every day, you know, and see, just like look around you as you might see something on a billboard, you might hear a song on the radio, you might see an animal crossing your path. Your animals might start acting funny. A light will flicker on and off, whatever. There might be coins or change with a particular date on it that has some significance to what you wrote down. You know what I mean? Just in a relaxed way, look for those connections, and know that will bolster your faith. And always remember that it's love that you believe in. Love is the goal. So you're writing down something that you love, or you would love the answer to because you want to connect with it, etc., if that makes sense. And the last card is Prudence, 7 of Discs, and that's exactly what this means. I call it my Field of Dreams card. I call it the card for Field of Dreams because the traditional tarot, what it's about is going through each step of a process. It's progress, but it's slow progress, just like a farmer. Oh, there's our cat Tattle, making an appearance, cameo from Tattle. Hello. But Field of Dreams has to do with a picture of a farmer, and so it's incremental progress. And the vision I got for it was, you know, you have to do one step at a time. Don't get ahead of yourself. If you're just planting the seeds, don't look at the seeds every day and say, why aren't you a full-grown watermelon? You know, why aren't you here yet? You know, it takes time. There's gestation period. You know, it will get there, or it won't. You know, sometimes things die on the vine, you know what I mean? But stay with the progress as you would in a logical way, you know? Look and see the overall picture of what step this is. And when you're maybe halfway through that step or close to the end of it, that's when you start thinking about the next step. So I planted my seeds of intention. Okay, now I need to clear it. I need to make sure there are no weeds. I need to water it regularly. And that's the stage I'm in. And we're in this stage until they sprout. And when they sprout, then it's the next stage, etc. When they sprout and bloom, then you thin them out. And the next stage would be fertilizing them. And the next stage would be, for however long it is, pruning them and pinching them back. And the next stage would be, you know, just enjoying their development, just enjoying them, watching them ripen and grow. And then the next stage is plucking them off of the vine or harvesting, you know, and you'll see the stage. Ask to see the proof of the stages that you're in your seeds of intention. That's what I'm getting. So it's a slow and steady progress, but be in the progress and be present with it and enjoy it. Enjoy and appreciate. That's all you gotta do. So I'm gonna pick Witch's Wisdom card for the day. kind of an affirmation, I suppose, a sign, a symbol, whatever. The bottom of the deck is manifestation. I kid you not, can't fake this stuff. Spell. When you do this, that is in fact a spell. You don't have to be a witch or know how to do a ritual spell. Even witches don't have to do ritual spells. For all of us, witch or no, you just be you. Just, that's the energy that gets your magic working. It gets it moving. So that's the underlying energy of our affirmation, is that we are manifesting. So that, you know, that's what that was about, in fact. And we're letting our dreams and wishes come up and checking to see if they're really resonating with who we truly are. Or if it just resonates with this laundry list we used to have. Well, I want this, that, and the other thing. And it's a superficial desire. The things we want the most, honestly, from my experience personally, are very, very simple. Very simple. To be surrounded by love, to have everything we need, and to do what we want. Very simple. Love, security, and freedom. And those things can go down to the very bare, simple basics of life. Love, being with the people who you want by your bedside on your last day here. You know, who really are those people? Really. And that kind of weeds out how many acquaintances you have. And it's not to say that those people are unimportant, but how important is it in the sense of investing our time and energy into more superficial growth and development? Okay? It's calling us to thin things out. Prioritize. Prioritize. Because your energy will be returned to you better. Your life force energy, your vitality, your sense of clarity and intuition will be very clear. You will be able to see things in the dark, so to speak. You know where you're coming from now, and you stay focused on that path. And like security is food, clothing, shelter, and something meaningful to do. Whether it's your career or a hobby, it's your life calling. It doesn't matter how you invest, it matters that you stay connected to it in whichever way is convenient for you, so that it gives you peace of mind to stay connected to your calling. So you don't have to make a full-blown career out of it. And if you're not happy with it just being a hobby and you do want to make a career, that's the true essence of what you want to do, then do that. So you see my point. Those are examples. So that's the bottom of the deck. Underlying all of this is the fact that we are manifesting, and our souls are going to be revealing to us the real reason why we want to manifest something, and if that should stay on the list or if it should go and be weeded out. So the actual card is Hearth, homecoming. This is about a sense of being home and belonging to yourself, to your soul, that the fires are burning steadily, that they produce nurturing for you. They give you something back. I invest my time putting these things in my cauldron, so to speak. And I stir the pot and I keep the momentum going. And what do I have in this cauldron? Just whatever. Oh, I just threw something together. Okay, that's great on some days, you know? But when it comes to your soul's essence, right? The return investment is always better when, and more flavorful and more satisfying, gratifying, fulfilling to your soul, gives back to you when you know what ingredients you're putting in. You want specific ingredients in there. It doesn't have to be this ratatouille, very complex, you know, recipe of your life. In fact, it's you're creating this recipe. You're creating it. It wasn't written by anybody else. The recipe of your life was not written by anybody else. Not your grandmother, not your mom, not your dad, not your ancestors. you right now, and it's like, what flavor do I want in the pot today, right? And then I think over the next little while, we're going to be called to say, well, what flavor do you want in the pot for your life in general? Boil it down to 3 things. Boil it down to 3 things. Love, security, and freedom. And keep the ingredients simple. You know, who do I want to be surrounded by? What love do I want to be surrounded by? Do I even know how I want to be loved? Those are the questions you can ask. Write that down at night. And whatever it is you want to focus on. Security. Ingredient number 2. I have everything I need. What do I need all this extra stuff for then? You might want to purge and clean out your pantry, so to speak. Get it? Freedom. What do I really want to do? Okay, I've got to put this over here. It's like I have to have food, clothing, and shelter, so I need to work and draw an income. Or I need to, however you're drawing an income. Some of you may be living on a pension or a fixed income. Some of you might be living on spousal support. Doesn't matter. Okay, but you have responsibilities, right? And those are always there. Like caring for your loved ones, caring for yourself. It might include going to a regular job, etc. But those ingredients are simple. And you want to ask yourself and ask Spirit to show you at night, give me some idea. Give me some idea. Really from the depths of my soul. I feel I've been out of touch with myself, so to speak, for too long. And I want to know really, what's at the true essence of my soul? What do I really want? And boil it down to those 3 main ingredients. To be surrounded by love. To have what you need. Food, clothing, shelter, something meaningful to do. Your soul's calling. And to do what I want, truly want, that's your freedom, is to be able to make a choice about what you want to do. How many restrictions are on your choices? How many of those restrictions can you kick out of your life or shuffle them around? Does that make sense? So that they're not so intrusive. If they're not choices, they're your responsibilities. It's by default. Okay, I gotta go do this every day. But what do I really want? And how much can I implement doing that thing every day that I love to do? Does that make sense? So I hope so. Anywho, so now I'm gonna draw soul to soul. And there it is. Okay, so it's calling us to what I got. Woo, the card that flipped over is the black candle. This is a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful color candle. It's about banishment. It's about releasing the things that you don't need. And you have to do that before you call things in. You can do them simultaneously, but focus on what you're eliminating. You can have everything you want, not by what you acquire, but by what you eliminate and make room for. Before you start planting those seeds, plow up that earth and get rid of all the rocks and weeds that are in that, soil. Now the cards that we're showing, you're not going to believe this because I don't believe it, is the moon and this card. This card is, to me, what I call it is the subconscious mind or the unconscious mind. It's the bottom of the cauldron. It's blackness. It's blissful oblivion. It's where everything lives that you aren't consciously aware of about yourself. So look what we're doing. We're going to be banishing the stuff that comes up that we allow Spirit to call up to our attention, our conscious attention, to get rid of it, to purge, to... Now is the time, because what I'm hearing them say is, now is when it's not going to be so gut-wrenchingly painful. There are times when you can purge and you don't want to let go of things or people or certain types of connections because you know it would be too painful. You know it would, and so you hold on and you make up an excuse, and your excuses become your reasons, and you start believing them, and you don't, but it gets suppressed down into the bottom in the darkness. And it's like, okay, now is the time for it to come up, because now it won't be as painful or challenging or difficult to release it and let it go. And use a black candle to help you. A lot of people are afraid of black candles because they deem them satanic or dark or evil or for hexing. It's for banishing. It's for banishing negative energy and releasing and letting it go. That's all it is. You know, and they're actually very protective. And they do symbolize the color of the subconscious. I can't believe I got those cards. So you want to start cooking up a good life, cooking up a good spell for the life that you want. Do it with simple ingredients. Do it one step at a time. Follow only your intuition. Know that you have the light being given to you by the sun and the moon, both masculine and feminine energy, to show you the way to what it is you really want, and to keeping it simple. And that way you'll be able to keep an eye on the pot and be spontaneous, you know, with it's your own desires to create the recipe for your life, but you don't have to follow it like you're just improvising, but you're not necessarily just throwing it together carelessly. It's like you know what you want, and you're reaching for those ingredients and intentionally putting them in. You're making up the recipe. There's no prescribed recipe from somewhere else that you have to follow the rules of this recipe. It's more of an art form. I'm going to improvise, but I know what I want. And there it is. I have this one and this one. Oh, I need to go get this ingredient and put it in. And that's how you're adding, you know, the ingredients into your life. It's all homegrown stuff. So that's that. Keep it real. Allow spirit to keep it real for you, and welcome the answers that you receive. That was a really cool reading. So I hope you join me tomorrow for Friday's daily read and for the weekend reading. Take care, and if you would like to book a personal reading with me, the links for a personal reading and to donate to this channel are in the drop down box below. That was my cat, sorry. Oh God. I'm trying to get her out of the way, and I ended up knocking over the camera, so I'm going to hold her until I'm done. But anyway, the links are in the drop down box below if you want to connect with me. Until we meet again, from my soul to yours, much love and brightest blessings. Take care. Bye-bye.